So what is football and how does it do? You're just a girl, not just, you're a woman, an empowered woman, and now you're suddenly interested in football. I have all the answers. I'm gonna teach you football. Backers, blockers, bleachers, seats, luxury suites, oh my. Blue bean bags, black holes, dog pounds, tipped balls, illegal shits, and horsey collars? Big blocks and small clocks. Oh, and dildos. 40-yard dashes with a splash of big swinging dick, buckus. Browns, clowns, frowns, hallowed grounds, and sounding.
Diggs gets a much-needed blow.
Rapists and robots.
This isn't real! Cletus! None of this is real!
Tickles and tackles. Tailgate, deflategate, bottlegate. All right, rhyming gate with gate is cheating, but competing and overeating. Safeties and blitzes, run and shoot, fun and gun, but not the World Series. But yes, conspiracy theories.
Pitch it! Pitch the ball!
Transactions, distractions, and neutral zone infractions. Who's in my neutral zone?
Excuse me a minute.
Bitches and hitches. Football is as easy as AA Ron to ZE Bra. Just make sure you get drunk and take off your bras, ladies. You know, get comfy, put on them sweatpants and stuff.
Touchdown!
Football is the greatest source of American turns of phrase.
It's been a while since he's seen a hole that big.
It's like Mark Twain if he were a league.
Or cushion for the pushing, they say.
Where else have you ever seen a man on the radio yell
that he explodes into a 39-yard gargle of the sweet nectar?
An NFL field is 120 yards long and made of a combination of rubber pellets, green paint, and dog urine. Well, what is a yard anyway? A yard is 108 grains of barley, dry and round, making a football field an even 12,960 grains of barley long. Now you know. We can thank Edward II for that rule. Football fields vary in width, however, with some stadiums having fields as much as 70 yards wide and as others as little as 35, such as in Boston, where a large green wall is in the way, and it's called the Green Monster, and fun fact, it's the reason you touch yourself at night. Okay, now ladies, when you're watching football with your walking red flag of a boyfriend, you might feel yourself wanting to say something like, why don't they just, or, well, that's dumb, they should do this. Before you say any of those things, don't. Football is a very complicated sport.
He beats Cox.
And there's going to be about 45 minutes of mansplanation about why you're wrong.
250 pounds of man coming right at you.
Why it's not that easy, or why you just don't get it, or why there's actually a little known rule preventing that exact loophole you thought of. Although it's completely possible that you're completely right and that there is a very simple solution, and it's called firing Matt Canada. The quarterback yells a lot.
Fat kid screaming in your face.
Dak Prescott goes, here we go. Every fucking play. Here we go. What the fuck is that? It's the worst fucking cadence.
When you're not a fan of something, shitting on it can make you feel good.
Peyton Manning would go, oh, maha.
The blue lady! Quick side!
The quarterback yells a lot, and when he yells the right thing, the offense starts to play. So you might wonder, why doesn't the defense start yelling things too? Maybe trick some people up into a premature ejaculation, also known as a false start. The answer is that there's a specific rule against it, which you'll never ever hear called. So remember this one, okay? You're gonna get a million bajillion brownie points if this ever happens. If the defense starts yelling shit and causes some nonsense like that, that's a penalty called disconcerting signals. So, if it ever comes up, you get to say, oh no, that's disconcerting signals. Every man in the room will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then that big lawyer guy on TV will come on and go, 5-yard penalty for disconcerting signals. And then the announcers will be like, what the fuck is that? I've never heard of this before. And you'll be like, what's up? And then you win.
No, you're rolling! Shut your mouth! You jabroni!
Other than the brownie points one that'll never happen, what are some of these other yellow flag court cases about, something that might actually happen? Well, there's something called a horse collar tackle. It's what it sounds like. That's when a grown man rides another grown man like a horsey. And this is against the rules ever since the Dallas Cowboys used the tactic to emasculate their opponents, which created bad blood. A rare disease. When a man on offense gets too excited and starts to play a little too early, this is called a false start. See, tarts have filling, and the man who operates the filling injector for tarts. If he starts too early, then he has shot his cream filling everywhere, but not in the tart, thus leaving behind a empty tart, which we call a false tart.
That's kind of gay, but hey, close.
4th down and 9.
And now you got two beautiful balls.
Yeah, kids.
I'll make sure to put them right next to each other in the trophy case.
What's the deal with the Gatorade bath? Well, the answer to that goes all the way back to the 1930s, when it was customary that the head coach not change their clothes, bathe, shower, or shave while a team was on a winning streak. Since it takes a long winning streak to win the Super Bowl, sometimes as many as 45 games, the coaches will get quite smelly and ensmegmud.
Excellent job so far.
So once the result of the game becomes clear, the players will go ahead and give their coach a bath. Occasionally this happens prematurely, and this is called premature Gatoration, and is subject to a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike fluids.
Watch the little beverage, and he's like, yes, my best Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonation.
This episode brought to you by nepotism. This Nepo baby likes to be carried around in the patented Nepo Baby carrier from our fine sponsor. Speaking of nepotism, football is all about nepotism, because you can be named Joe Lombardi and your grandpa like invented football and slapping your penis on something. So, well, this Lombardi guy, he's got to be good. And then they fire you halfway through the season and replace you with a guy named Jim Bob Cooter, and they get immediately better. It's amazing. Oh, this Nepo baby is bristling at the accusation. She doesn't want to be called a Nepo baby. But now that we've covered everything, you should be quite the pro at American football. Except for, players and the teams, positions, the plays, what's a pass, what's a catch. Oh, God damn it.
There must be clear, uncontroverted evidence.
All right, real fast, let's cover some shit. The throwy guy, that's the quarterback. When he's trying to throw a ball and he's surrounded by a bunch of bodyguards, he's in an area called the pocket. Some quarterbacks rarely leave the pocket, and they're known as pocket pussies. His bodyguards play a position called guard for those two, okay? The center is called the center. And then on the outside, the two biggest bodyguards, they're called tackles, because they never ever tackle anyone. Now on defense, the fattest, slowest guys in the middle who rarely make tackles, they're called tackles. When a quarterback is in the pocket pussy area and a defensive player knocks out his balls, that's called a sack fumble. Now, why is it called a sack? What's the deal with that? Did they use a sack back in the Confederate days? Well, one time a quarterback was hit so hard that his ball sack split open and his balls fumbled out onto the field. Sack fumble, get it? And that term just kind of stuck, unlike his vas deferens.
Do we understand that?
Taylor's boyfriend plays tight end because, look at those Gumby knees. They need their screws tight end. The guy who lines up next to the quarterback, he's called a running back, or a halfback, or a tailback, or a fullback, or an H-back, or a lead back, sometimes a bell cow back, or an every down back. Some running backs are handed the ball very nicely, and they're called running backs. Others are known for their ability to catch the ball and are called receiving running backs. Some are good at blocking and called fullbacks. Still others are not known for their skill at catching or running fast, or blocking, and they're called Clyde. What shape is a football? Well, it's a prolate spheroid. And what are these things? Well, those are hypocycloids. And what else rhymes with that? Android? I don't know. That's a red flag for ladies, I've heard. Is when a man texts you and you get that blue bubble, or is it the green bubble? The wrong color bubble because he has an Android. And that's a red flag, I've heard. Which is some bullshit. Because if you, fine camera lady, had thought that was a red flag, you wouldn't be here with a man who's 5'8", comes with bitches. You wouldn't have all these bitches. A complete package right here. And finally, just for fun, a little football history. The best player in the history of football is Dick Butkus. Real guy. If anyone ever asks you, who is your favorite player? Is it Taylor's boyfriend? You say, no, my favorite player is Dick Butkus. And if they have any follow-up questions whatsoever, you accuse them of mansplaining and gatekeeping. You slap them on the ass, which kicks off the secret game of tag, forcing them to leave. The greatest play in football history is called the Stanford Band play. because it occurred during band practice, and it's an interesting act involving a flute. Look that one up too. But the key takeaway is that even if you're definitely losing the game, Freya, if you do something super cool and memorable, that will give you style points. And style points count double in the final standings. Football is full of life lessons. So for example, if you're getting pulled over for speeding, you do a sick jump or a sweet J-turn, then you turn around and surrender to the cops, they might let you go because of how cool that was. So when a team is in a hopeless situation, they're gonna lose, they take the last play of the game as an opportunity to do some sweet tricks.
It's worth a shot. They'll continue to play it because you never know. The only thing missing is the Stanford band.
Thus attempting the flute or flutie maneuver from Stanford band practice, which is why the last play of a football game can sometimes look extremely different from any other play the whole rest of the 3 hours. It was 3 hours of the same old shit, and then for one play, it looks like band nerds grabbed the controllers and started hitting buttons at random. We're throwing the ball 14 times in the same play. What the fuck's going on? That's a Stanford band play. They're trying to get those sweet style points, baby. It never works. Often it ends up with a touchdown the other direction. Occasionally it works, and then you miss the extra point and you lose anyway. Or you're the Patriots.
Miami running around, circling. Oh, look out! Gronkowski didn't have the angle. Touchdown! George Wilson. The only thing missing is the Stanford band.
Picked up by Jordan Reed, now Thompson. Kansas City has it. This might be meaningful to some.
There's another play called a QB sneak, which you might think is very sneaky, but football is full of sarcasm because the QB sneak is the least sneaky thing in all of sports. Kind of like how men not wanting to wear condoms can be called stealthing. Stealthing, yeah, because we didn't know they did that. That was so secret. Another way NFL games can end is called a Hail Mary. And that's when the quarterback drops to his knees and thanks God during a play. This awards the team 1 prayer point and subtracts 40 seconds from the clock. If you don't do this and you don't have sufficient prayer points, God intervenes and strikes you down, and he sends a black guy named Herman to take the ball from you and touch it down in your rear end zone. There's a similar play to the Hail Mary, and this is one where a quarterback takes the snap and then immediately spikes the ball like he's touching it down in the end zone. Except what? He's not in the end zone. This is called a spiker play, and teams run it because it confuses all the lawyers on the field. They're like, what the fuck? So they stop the clock so that they can have a recess in judges' chambers to try to figure out what the hell just happened. This enables the offense to try a last-second, desperate legal defense tactic, such as secretly replacing the quarterback with a very small white guy that they can pin all of the blame on for the loss. You're gonna bug the DD now, huh? Oh my god. And that's football, baby! And if you ever get confused, hey, sometimes... Oh, God. And here's another fun fact for you. Taylor's boyfriend once threw a touchdown pass. He is not a quarterback, right? He doesn't throw the ball. Well, occasionally he throws the ball. And I recently saw a video making fun of the fact that he's always bad at it. And he's never thrown a touchdown. Well, they were neglecting to include the time he did it in the playoffs. We do this all the time in football. We list all these statistics, and it's just the regular season, and we skip the playoff ones for some reason, because those games matter more. So Travis Kelce has thrown 1 touchdown pass. He threw it in the playoffs to a guy named Pringle, and he's never done it again since, thus proving once and for all that once you pop, you can stop. I like some comments below. Ask me for more things to explain. What do you want to know? The first 1,000 questions in the comments, I will respond personally while touching 3 dogs, which is what I'm doing right now. Also, the tush push is fucking bullshit. Are all 4 dogs on the shot? No, there's a Dee over here. There's Dee Dee. Does anybody see Dee Dee? Okay, let me up. I'm hot and sweaty. Oh. These 2 big black ones are available for adoption.
Yeah, man, you gotta help my dog out, man.